All right. I wasn't sure how shocking that was for you. You look like you had this look of surprise.
Well, I get caught up in what I'm reading, so I completely forget that I'm sitting here on a show live waiting to go. So it happens.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me on social media at Barrett Gruber. This is Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. You can follow him at Political Bill SC here on a Wednesday night. Welcome, Bill. How are you?
To be honest, man, this night thing's not working out. I'm sitting here yawning. I am beat tired. I checked. Can we do like 3:03 in the afternoon? Because that's when I'm at my peak. If we could do 3:03s.
I'm off work and usually not doing anything by then. 2:30 in the afternoon is when I log off. So I don't think that would be absurd.
Really?
Yeah. Heck
what
yeah.
Are you, a part-timer?
No. I just am that efficient.
Very good. Hey, I'm doing good. Putting the finishing touches on my next episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. Today was a dark day in the history of our podcast. We did not release on schedule. Yeah. And we normally release Wednesday mornings, but work and church items and family items just packed. Could not find the free time to edit. And this episode in particular, this required a lot of production. First of all, it's got more sound effects than any episode we've ever done before.
Oh.
And then a lot of video clips. And I made some errors in preparing. So some of the clips I had were the wrong clips, or they were not edited properly and cut off too soon. And I wanted to show certain things. So I had to figure out, how can I insert new material into this episode without bringing everybody back in for re-recording.
Okay.
So it required a lot of work, but the output, the final result is amazing. You're going to love this episode.
I will say you do an unbelievable amount of editing to get your show, because we've talked about it before, but I leave all of the ums and ahs and whatnot in, because I think that's part of my personality is that I verbalize my thinking.
Well, tune in tomorrow morning. We actually introduce a game. We do a game show for the first time ever on our episode.
I've thought
so you get to play along.
I thought about doing something like that on between you and me, like on a Wednesday recording, or a Thursday if we switch back to mornings. But
no, we're not switching back to mornings.
Okay,
no, that's not happening either.
We discussed it. The 3:30 afternoon might work. Of like having that one, like ending the week with that one thought on an event from the week that just left you in either extreme joy or disappointment or whatever. And I know there's a lot of disappointment to constantly go around, but just an idea. And I didn't come up with one for this week, but
maybe we end the Wednesday evening episode, since we don't talk again until the following Monday.
Right.
We end with predictions for the upcoming week.
Okay. All right.
We come up with maybe 2 or 3 predictions each.
Okay.
And then we review them first thing on our Monday show to see how close we came.
I think we could probably, that would probably not be too terrible. And if we're doing it based on all of our experience of everything that's going on, I feel like we're gonna be batting 1,000.
No. I wouldn't. I mean, would you have predicted we'd be at war with Venezuela today?
No.
So there's things that just are not predictable.
A country whose military makes up, in comparison, a ratio, it's like 67-1 in comparison to what the United States military brings to a. And Venezuela didn't provoke a fight with us.
Well,
I mean,
Donald Trump he confirmed that he authorized the CIA operation inside Venezuelan territory.
yeah.
And he said because Venezuela keeps sending all of their prisoners and mental patients from asylums to America. That was his rationale.
Do you feel like the bar just keeps? It's not even like it's not the bar that we think of when we say that somebody lowered the bar. It feels like he's just moving the bar further around.
I feel like he's been hit on the head with the bar.
Yeah.
To this day, he thinks asylum seekers were mental asylum patients. He refused. Either nobody's corrected him all these years, or he doesn't care. Yeah. But every country that sends immigrants, he says they're releasing them from their mental asylums. He says that over and over.
He does say that.
The dumbest guy.
He does say that. I would be, well, I think that speaks to what Venezuela is as far as their universal healthcare system, is the fact that they do still have mental health facilities. And if they're called asylums, fine, call them asylums. But the fact that mental health is something that is still part of their healthcare system in Venezuela, because they do.
Venezuela is run by a tough guy dictator, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Why is it that I'm actually starting to root for Venezuela now? I mean, this is what Trump does to you. And you call it Trump derangement syndrome if you want, but the guy's been an asshole for 12 years straight. You're going to want to root for whoever he's against. And he can't help it.
He does tend to turn us against our better judgments normally. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Real quick, want to remind everybody, SoulHAUS Sessions actually this next Wednesday, following Wednesday after this week, October 22nd.
Good. Then we can stop hearing about it.
Yeah, but then we'll just move on to the October, November SoulHAUS Sessions. SoulHAUS Sessions coming out with Preach Jacobs October 22nd at the Koger Center of the Arts. Doors open at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a Colacon, an ode to Colacon, with a bunch of the people that showed up for the Colacon years ago. There's going to be artwork on display by Dan Lish. I have not heard from him, so he has not accepted my offer to fly over. I didn't actually put that out anywhere either. Preach is going to be spinning the vinyl, so make sure to get your tickets at Eventbrite. You can check the show notes, or you can follow Preach at Preach Jacobs.
Does he literally spin vinyl, or is he pushing buttons? He does a vinyl. He just legit.
He's got vinyl. Yeah. Tuesday nights at Lularoos in Colombia. He spins vinyls on Tuesday night too. So he sits there right at the bar. He's got his turntable and he's got his box of records, and he sits there and plays music. It's fantastic.
Very good.
He has a very eclectic, I guess, sort of. He listens to a lot of different music, and it's interesting to be in that environment and hear just because he's introduced me to artists that I'd never thought I would be interested in, and now they're standard on my playlist. So appreciate Apple Music for putting together Barrett Station for that. I'll share that with everybody. We can put that in the link. But yeah, at war.
There's nothing worse than grown men sharing playlists with each other. I'm just saying, right? Like that's just a new low right there. That's stuff that I used to do as a kid. I'm talking like 8th grade, high school. And you got a crush on this girl. You would make a mixtape. Like how many mixtapes did you hand out? I was practically 3. A crack dealer of mixtapes. I was so into so many girls.
You want to hear something worse than that?
If you just make the right mixtape, you find your bride. That was like the philosophy.
Yeah. My buddy Andre and I used to sit down in front of 2 microphones and act like we had a show and would introduce music. And then that's what I would give to, whatever girlfriend at the time. So not only would she have to listen to us between the songs, but she'd have to listen to us talk about the songs or the artists and things like that. And, if I hadn't given those away, I probably would have those somewhere available on YouTube or some sort of archive available for people to listen to. I would probably do that. That's
funny.
That seems like my nature. You going to be doing any of the No Kings rallies this weekend?
No.
Okay.
No, but we have a local one here in Greenwood the following weekend.
Right.
So the organizers wanted to be in Columbia for the big one. So they kicked the local one to the following week.
I saw that according to the RSVP numbers for nearly all of the 50-10 or 50-51s and the No Kings, signups and everything, the soft number right now is somewhere around 23 million across the country.
Yeah,
that's a big number,
considering
the last one. I think they estimate it may have been 10 to 12 million. So
that's a lot of people hating America. That's a big number of America haters.
Donald Trump is speculating on engaging the Insurrection Act of 1807 because of the event. That is the latest word, is that according to Vice President J.D. Vance, I almost wanted to call him DJ Vance because that's apparently where you see him now, is in front of microphones all the time. I don't think I've ever in my lifetime, I don't think I ever remember a vice president being so out in public.
Oh, he's got nothing else to do, right? He has no responsibilities. He's got no sway, Donald Trump's not bringing him in to discuss shit.
No.
Right? He doesn't care. So he's just get him out in front of the microphone. You heard that late breaking story about the young Republicans and their racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, just horrible text chats that go back years that were finally exposed. Guess who the one Republican was that's out there defending them?
I'm going to guess it's J.D. Vance.
That's who we're talking about. Everybody else is distancing or condemning. He's the one that says, oh, it's just kids being kids. Like, no, these are grown-ass adults.
Yeah. Well,
right?
to him, isn't this what Charlie Kirk died for? Was their ability to send text messages that are disgusting?
Are you saying Charlie Kirk died for their sins?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that what I just heard you say?
but realistically, yeah, J.D. Vance. The fact, the bar continues to lower for J.D. Vance more and more and more, because if you remember, it was 10 years ago that he was saying that he was a never Trumper, that this was a guy that could not stand behind Donald Trump and support him. He was a tech bro from Pasadena or wherever in California. I mean, this was a guy that was making millions of dollars, or at least approaching the $1 million mark, based on things that he was doing in the IT field or investments or whatever it was he was doing to make all of his money. And then he wrote a book about his humble beginnings in Appalachia that basically insulted everyone and anyone he potentially had any sort of interactions with as a child through adolescence. And I get being vice president, it's kind of like a medal or a trophy, but I still think he's just an actor. He is playing to a crowd, and I don't think it's good.
But do you think he's not being treated as a beloved actor either? No. So he's preaching to the crowd, and the crowd does not care.
No,
they're not responding to him.
When he was a vice presidential candidate, and him showing up at tens of people. For
do you remember the clip we played of him at the donut shop?
Yeah,
like he was experiencing humanity for the first time.
Yeah. What sort of donuts would you get? What
how long have you worked here?
Right.
Okay, good. How about you? How long have you worked here? Okay, good. How about you? How long have you worked here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
How long has this place been here? The video.
Great. How long has this place been open? Okay, good.
The video of him doing his daily walk or whatever and interacting with people from the perspective of, there's the cameras on him, and it's not really him. It was somebody portraying him. That was probably one of my favorite videos last year.
Walking through the park.
Yeah. Walking through the park, trying to interact with, human beings was terrific.
What are the chances that J.D. Vance is actually like the American hero we all need, that he's just playing this role being the dumbest, worst possible version of himself he can be, because he knows that within a year or so, Trump's going to kick the bucket. And then he's going to come in and be what he wants to be. And he's like the next FDR, right? Or the next JFK. He can ditch the persona and then be himself as president. What do you think the chances are? In fact, that'll be my prediction for tonight.
But that's a long.
Trump kicks the bucket by next Monday, and Vance takes over and is the next JFK or FDR. There's my prediction for Monday.
Let's
see how close we go.
I think it really just depends, because could you see, so JD Vance as president obviously has to have the full support of Congress. He has to also have the full support, or at least the 5-4 support or 6-3 support of the Supreme Court. Like, this is a guy that is going to need people behind him in order to be a potentially effective president. But like, I want to see it, but I don't, if Mike Johnson makes a U-turn, like he'd have to make in order to go from a Donald Trump presidency to a JD Vance presidency, like he might break his own neck.
Yeah, I think more realistically, JD Vance assumes the presidency and he becomes Congress's little bitch.
Yeah.
Like the roles get reversed completely. And, the Mike Johnson and the John Thunes are like, come here, you pussy. Come here. We're going to tell you now what you're going to do. Come here.
But
you're going to bend over, get a spanking, and you're going to like it. Come on.
I am now asking anyone watching this, please put together those AI videos of Mike Johnson giving JD Vance spankings.
It willed it into existence.
No kink shaming whatsoever. I just appreciate the entertainment.
Would Mike Johnson have to report that activity to his son?
It absolutely
does that count? He would, right?
Yeah, it depends.
Kink buddies. That's what they're checking each other's kinks out to make sure they don't fall from the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew. This episode's taking a dark turn. Where's Zach King to bring balance to the force? Why is he not here?
He's probably sitting out there watching us right now, just going, "Man, I wish I had something to say about this. I got so much to say." But yeah, I genuinely, with the No Kings rallies this weekend, the fact that it's getting as much attention from the Republicans, especially like Mike Johnson out there calling it the hate America, and still spewing all of this misinformation about how Democrats just want to provide health care for immigrants or illegal immigrants, as he puts it, aliens, whatever.
I got to tell you, I'm starting to get more disturbed and reactionary and blood pressure through the roof the more ICE videos I see.
I agree.
I mean, you saw the one that I sent you earlier of one of our favorite Instagrammers. What's his name? Randy something?
Robbie something. Yeah. He dresses up in cheap animal costumes, wears an amplifier around his neck with a microphone. He
talks 90s, like Macho Man Randy Savage. He's got that growly voice.
Yeah. He plays 90s music, and he writes lyrics that are appropriate for the audience. Alexa or somebody, don't talk to me. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear that. Apparently,
but I love his videos. They're hilarious. Like he'll go right up to MAGA rallies, and in line he'll just start singing songs and capturing a video. And then today you saw the video where he was tackled by ICE and then dragged off. I don't know where he is at the moment, if he's been released or not.
He wasn't just dragged off. He was dragged into a facility behind large metal bars.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know if there was an official arrest, but at least based on the clip you sent me, and I went looking for other clips that gave any more information. He never did anything that would have provoked normal law enforcement. There's training that goes into being a law enforcement officer, and it's the same as playing baseball or whatever. You get heckled.
I see those guys in their masks and in their outfits, and I swear, I don't know what would happen if something like that occurred around me. I mean, it's going to provoke a crowd. Right now, the crowd sees that and they're just screaming at the officers. At some point, violence is going to break out based on these ICE asshole provocations.
I got to believe that's what Trump wants.
It's going to happen.
I think that is exactly what they want. This is what the administration wants. He wants it to provoke people into violence. That then he has the actual excuse. Then he has a reason to say, look, this is what my officers are out, and he'll slip up at some point. At some point, he will call them his army or his Secret Service or his SS is where I'm going.
I mean, today there was an article where a lady was arrested, and the ICE officer told her, well, your last name doesn't match what you look like. And so she got detained. I mean, this is where we're at. And if this is not causing every American's blood to boil, then you're the one that hates America, because you don't stand for what this country was built for. Well, this country was not built on that.
Yeah, I told you. I told you last week about driving home from bowling and seeing police vehicles at the place where I get my car worked on. I did call and I spoke with Eric Vasquez, who is the owner of the facility. And as it turns out, it was actually, they had a couple cars that were being broken into, and that's what triggered the alarms.
So normal police action.
Right. But again, I have to go back to the fact that I have that fear now, that there are people that I care about that you know, or even people I don't know, but ultimately I wind up caring about them. And everything that I'm seeing in these videos, because it's being reported on the news. You know, if you watch MSNBC, you see it. If you watch CNN, you're seeing some of it. Fox News, you're not seeing any of it. Any of the right-wing stations, you're not seeing it. Or it's being portrayed from a different perspective to make it look as though the police action is necessary. But yeah, I called and he explained what happened. I told him, I said, just, you know, be safe, you know, because his name's Vasquez. He's from Venezuela.
Are we overreacting?
I don't think so.
I mean, today news came out that all of the press outlets, save one, had their press credentials revoked at the Pentagon and were kicked out. The entire, I mean, we're talking Fox News and Newsmax.
Yeah.
All kicked out because they've refused to go along with letting the Pentagon review their work before they publish, which goes against the First Amendment, which goes against freedom of the press. And the only ones that got to stay were OAN. They signed the dotted line. They says, we don't give a fuck. We're going to sign the dotted line. So OAN is in. That's it. So you're going to get now your military Pentagon reports only from OAN. Tell me, are we overreacting?
I don't think so. And anyone that thinks that we are, I think is so ingrained in the cult. I don't know. Like I talked about it the other day with the conversation with my father-in-law. Like it is such a weird place to be as far as like conversations with people about or individuals, not people, just individuals that are so ingrained in everything that is Trump and everything.
It's South Carolina. You know, my representative is co-sponsoring a bill to pick a day here in South Carolina to call it Charlie Kirk Day. Have you seen that?
I thought they were pushing for October the 14th because yesterday that was his birthday, wasn't it? But
yeah, it hadn't happened yet.
But it was also George Floyd's birthday. Like George Floyd and Charlie Kirk share a birthday, and yeah, I had people asking me, are you wearing red today? Red for what? I said, oh, red for Charlie Kirk. How does Charlie Kirk and the color red correlate? I don't understand. Republican? Is it a MAGA thing? I don't understand. Like, and they're like, no, you know, people are wearing red for Charlie Kirk. I don't get it. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, we had jokes, but not appropriate. But yeah, I look in Florida, there's a university down there that's talking about they're working on renaming all of the roads around.
Oh, yeah. They're making it a law that colleges and universities have to name one of their local roads after Charlie Kirk.
I want there
like
to
this
come
is
out.
we're going to legislate propaganda and brainwashing. That is ridiculous.
I need there to be some video out there somewhere where Charlie Kirk's sitting with a bunch of his buddies talking about how much he hates the state of Florida, or how much this university turns out nothing but liberal, da 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 da. Like that there has to be something out there that, or just create AI. We have a president that believes everything that he sees. So just somebody create that video and
Speaking of create that video, do you have a video queued up for me?
I do.
So I came across. Yeah, go ahead. I don't even know if you want to introduce it or not, or just play it.
I'll you know what? I'll just play it. We'll just throw it in there.
All right.
As soon as I hit the button.
You're a good man.
We'll try again.
Choir, what is that?
I'm going to start again.
J6 choir, what is that?
Well, it's not my choir. It's simply a recording that was utilized to raise funds for families in need of nonviolent offenders.
Who sings on this recording?
I don't know, Senator.
What did you have to do with it?
Simply to raise funds to assist families of nonviolent offenders whose kids needed college education payments and whose rent needed being paid.
My understanding is that the performers on this J6 choir were the rioters who are in prison.
I'm not aware of that, sir. I didn't have anything to do with the recording.
Jan 6 prisoners themselves singing the national anthem every night for 700 straight plus nights from the jails themselves. So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, and digitized it, and put it out as a song.
This is the head of this nation's FBI. We went from J. Edgar Hoover to that absolute idiot. It's speechless. I saw that and I went, why are we not running around the world with that video? And how is he allowed to poke his head out the door after that?
I also find it intriguing that even with the evidence, even with a video of him clearly stating this was his intentions, he wanted to get this recording, he took it to a studio, got it remastered, got the president to pledge allegiance to the flag. How do you do that also? I mean, he's usually molesting the flags. Just out of curiosity, how do you get him to stop that around a flag in order to pledge it?
I bet you right now, if you ask Donald Trump at random, go pledge allegiance to the flag right now, he could not recite it. No. I would bet my 401k on that he would flub it.
No, I've heard that recording. There are hard edits in that recording.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. But in any other timeline, he would have been out of his job 2 seconds after making that statement in front of a U.S. senator, but that's the problem, is that the lies just come naturally and there's no repercussions, whatever. There's no shame. They don't care. They're not embarrassed by it. And worst of all, the rank and file Republican Party doesn't care either. They have stopped caring about any type of ethical or moral behaviors of their leaders. They just want the results, and the results are discrimination, racism, abortion. I mean, that's all they want are those results. They don't care what evil people are out there doing it.
I have heard Eric Swalwell mention a couple times now, not just on.
Oh, now we remember his name. That's awesome. Yes.
I'm never going to forget it. It's not. It's ingrained that there are a load of Republicans in the House that are basically on the verge of abandoning Donald Trump and the MAGA party the moment that the Epstein files are petitioned. And
where'd you hear that from?
So that was actually on MSNBC. So
it wasn't actually on a previous episode that we did 3 episodes ago where I told you all of that.
Yeah. No, we talked about
with Zach.
I am giving you,
and you're now relaying it as if it was your scoop.
No, I'm giving you Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. You can listen across all of Podcastverse.
Speaking of which, you got any other topics? Because I want to get back to the editing board before it gets too late. I'm close to releasing it.
According to the New York Times, Donald Trump is looking at all the options to deploy the National Guard, and we just talked about that a minute ago. I did. Did you
hear Donald Trump's worried about getting to heaven? That he's not sure he's going to make it to heaven. Did you hear that?
Are you?
I heard that, and I've scooped you on that. Yeah.
Are you scooping me? the shutdown, we are now in week 3 of it.
Yeah.
And I purely out of curiosity, and you may not know the answer, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, but how is it that the president of the United States can halt federal funding for anything that has already been voted into law and signed? How does that happen? Because he's talking about halting billions of dollars to what he calls are just, democratic programs and cities and things like that. But it's going to affect just as many Republican programs or low income, rural areas. But how does a president be able to have the power to stop congressional spending? I don't get that. Your silence is
you got Supreme Court that just rolls over and asks Trump to scratch its belly, so that's how he gets away with it. Congress is not pushing back, so they're just sitting there taking it. Supreme Court rules in favor of him every time, so they're not pushing back. That's how he gets away with it. I think it's a pretty obvious answer.
But it just doesn't make sense. The money's already been allocated. Oh. I don't understand how in my knowledge of how the government works, the president doesn't have any spending money except some arbitrary spending. The executive branch has a piece of budget that's allowed to spend money here or there. The ballroom.
Barrett, you see a red light at a traffic light. What are you supposed to do?
If I see a red light, I'm probably already stopped, but I come to a stop.
You stop, right? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you decide, nope, we're all just going to go through red lights from now on, and the police decide we're not going to do anything about it, and the judges are like, something comes before us, we're not going to charge you for it.
Yeah.
Then what's the purpose of the red light? It takes people following the agreed to rules, and when the majority decides, rules, how quaint.
Yeah.
Then we are not the country that was built on those rules. And that is where we are.
Yeah. Last piece of order. Got feedback on my previously trimmed mustache and brought it up a little bit because it looked a little too much like maybe I'd be attending one of the rallies that I don't want to attend. Or some 2020 event in South Dakota bike rally where COVID was spread pretty frequently. So I trimmed it back, so let the comments flow, have fun with that. I guess I'll wrap it up on that, but the beard will eventually
You're definitely sitting at a different bar tonight than you were before.
Oh shit. You know what? I'll have you know, Freddie Mercury was one of the most fantastic artists.
He was.
Lyricists, singers, piano, maybe a decent piano player, whatever. But I think on that bombshell, we'll wrap it up. Appreciate you being here for this, Bill. Thank you to all the listeners as well for tuning in. Don't forget, you can follow me at Barrett Gruber and Bill at Political Bill SC. We will be here again Monday.
Hey, shout out to Jessica. She comments on our show in a positive light, so we'll give her a positive feedback.
She does. Jessica is fantastic. I do look forward to getting scheduled her and former State Senator Katrina Shealy.
Oh, she's featured in our upcoming episode, so be on the listen for that. She makes an appearance.
The sister senators have a documentary that's going to be coming out. I don't have the details on when, but there is a documentary that's going to be coming out all about them.
I think it's out already, or hasn't it already been previewed at a couple of theaters throughout South Carolina? They had viewings.
If it has, I didn't hear about it, but I know that they were doing some recordings at the abortion protest a couple weeks ago. So I look forward to seeing it. So Jessica Childs and Katrina Shealy, we will have an episode with the two of them coming up, hopefully before Christmas. We'll get that taken care of. Also, we're going to do some episodes with some of the business owners here in Columbia about the liquor liability law that continues to shut down businesses. Good. So,
they fixed it. They passed the law. They washed their hands and everything's done. So all is good, right?
Yeah, we'll see. There was a $6.5 million settlement that was made recently. That'll
be interesting. I look forward to that one.
All that does is just make it more difficult for businesses here in South Carolina. to stay open, and nobody wants to go to franchises. Like, we get they can pay for it, but sometimes you want something local. So anyway, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.